You don't get to just walk into my house with a master key and call it protocol. Especially not you, Meredith. There she was, HOA badge swinging on its lanyard, acting like she was checking the weather in my hallway. I built the firmware for that smart lock myself, and I promise you, she triggered more silent alerts than a raccoon in a jewelry store. 5 pings, timestamped, GPS logged, archived. Not just trespassing, Meredith, digitally documented trespassing. Names Nora Vance, former network security analyst, now a single mom trying to keep the house my dad built back in '83 from turning into just another notch on the HOA's power trip belt. You ever had to stand between your family and someone who thinks a clipboard gives them authority over everything your family ever bled for? Stick around, because this story only gets hotter. It all started with a stupid notice taped to my mailbox. Garden hose left out, section 4.2. I laughed honestly. Thought maybe someone on the board needed a new hobby. My son Eli joked about framing the letter on the fridge a passive-aggressive gold star. 3 days later, here comes notice number 2, unauthorized decorative fixtures. They meant the wind chimes my dad carved for my mom the first spring they lived here. That one burned. This house isn't just wood and wires. It's where Eli learned to ride a bike, where Dad planted a magnolia tree for Mom on their 25th anniversary. That tree's seen more real life than most of these board members ever will. After the 3rd notice parking off gum in the driveway, I stopped laughing. Tried the civil route. Sent an email to the board. No response. When I followed up, they claimed I'd misread their tone. Your vehicle will be towed without further notice is apparently up for interpretation now, so I started keeping a file, scanned every note, snapped photos of every violation, and installed more cameras. Eli rerouted the whole house network through an encrypted VPN. Kid's a prodigy, just like his grandpa. You can't hack HOA stupidity, I said. You don't have to, he grinned. You just have to log it. But then it escalated. One afternoon I came home early, motion sensor pinged my phone, back doors open. My stomach hit my shoes. Eli's supposed to be at school. Inside, I find Meredith, president of the HOA, standing in my kitchen reading the recipe my mom mounted over the stove. Didn't flinch. Your door was unlocked, she lied, clipboard in hand. We needed to check your gas line. My house has an electric range, I shot back. She breezed right past, didn't even apologize. Just doing my job, she said. Homeowners agree to unannounced inspections if there's cause. There was no cause. That night, Eli sat with me under the magnolia tree the swing Dad built the week he was born, creaking above us. They're pushing us, Eli said, because they think they can. I nodded. We're not moving. Not now. Not ever. He grinned. Then let's make them regret trying. And that was the night the real story began. By sunrise, Eli had every security cam backing up to 3 different cloud accounts. We had crystal clear footage of Meredith letting herself in. No knock, no call, no authorization. My phone pinged every move she made. It was all airtight. The smart move might have been to call a lawyer right then, but I hesitated. I knew they'd spin it, claim it was staged, or worse, that I'd tampered with policy. HOA boards don't deal in truth. They deal in process. And I know process. 20 years in digital security taught me first move isn't attack, it's containment. We waited. We logged everything. And we let them dig their own grave. Meredith doubled down, sent a formal notice about our magnolia tree encroaching on public sidewalk. The tree Dad planted in '83 hasn't grown an inch in 10 years. Eli scrolled through their evidence, blurry photo, weird angle, probably trying to make a shadow look like an offense. But what caught my eye was the figure in the background, Denise Keller, my mom's old friend, secretary of the HOA now. She wasn't posing, just watching like someone waiting for a train she didn't want to catch. That kind of silence. It's louder than shouting. 2 days later, a yellow tag zip-tied to our porch swing, removed by end of week or face fines. I almost tore it down, but Eli stopped me. Let them document their own stupidity. That night, I dug out Dad's cedar chest deeds blueprints, even an old easement agreement from '83 that protected the swing magnolia and tool shed. I made copies and uploaded them to a Dropbox called HOA Legacy. Next board meeting, I sat in the back in Dad's windbreaker. Meredith's lips curled like she'd tasted vinegar. They added a new agenda line: unauthorized surveillance devices in common areas. Eli smirked. They know they're being watched. This wasn't about hoses or swings, it was about control and someone finally pushing back with receipts. But Denise started acting strange. One afternoon, she slipped a folded paper through our fence. They're planning to change the bylaws next month, Section 12C. It'll give them random home check authority. Don't let it pass. They're targeting you. Her hand trembled. She wasn't a villain, she was scared. That night, I pored over Dad's old binders, legal pads full of amendments, notes in the margins. Eli said if they pass this, they can legally step onto anyone's property. I nodded. This isn't just about us anymore. I called an old friend, Eliza Monroe, now a paralegal. Get me everything she said. Every letter, video, bylaw change. I'll build you a paper shield. By midnight, we had 60 pages scanned video files, sorted hard copies stashed in Dad's old hiding spot. This is about precedent now, I told Eli. And that's when I stopped thinking like a homeowner and started thinking like a firewall. They kept tagging us now. It was improper monitoring, wireless device detected. We just kept logging. The binders stayed open on the table, Dad's handwriting everywhere. Eli found new footage, Meredith using her code 3 times in one day, opening the door, peering inside, never knocking. They're baiting us, I said, but we stayed calm. Denise appeared at dusk. Jacket zipped, shoulders bowed. She handed me another note. Next Wednesday's meeting, if 3 votes change, they lose quorum. I can't be the one, but someone will. I told her, just vote. Her eyes filled. I can't watch you get buried, Nora. You're not. I said, you're saving the community. Then I'll vote no on consent. The next day, we found Dad's old toolbox in the basement, hidden locked cabinet. Inside were binders of HOA correspondence in a green envelope. Letters, notes, articles, even Dad's records of every master key issued, every override code used. We found gaps, days when someone had entered using a code that wasn't logged. Dad knew. He'd tracked it. He left it for us. That evening, we shared everything with Eliza Denise. And trusted neighbors, evidence documents, old codes. Even Denise's confession. Eliza said, "This is documentary gold. They can't spin out of this." That week, legal counsel advised a community alert. Neighbors rallied. Denise distributed flyers. The night of the vote, neighbors filled our porch. Kids, moms, old Mr. Garrett, Marisol with her kids and cookies. I stood in front of everyone. Showed the deed, the original carve-out, the logs of unauthorized entries. Meredith accused me of misinformation. Denise stood voice strong. I wrote the note. I saw what they did. I'm voting no because this is about trust. Murmurs, nods, even the lawyer took notice. The next day, Clark Jensen gave a recorded statement. Last spring, Meredith entered without notice. Marisol confirmed seeing Meredith leaving our porch uninvited. Eliza filed everything. Denise gathered proxies, and by the next board meeting, we had a wall of evidence. When I presented it, Clark's voice. Marisol's witnessed digital backups. The attorney called for a compliance audit, suspended Meredith's privileges, and launched an immediate review. Denise played her recording of Meredith at a private board meeting. If you don't log it, it never happened. You could feel the room shudder. Afterwards, the neighborhood shifted. Neighbors started waving. Doors stayed open longer. Eli and I spent a Sunday repainting the bench under the magnolia, Dad's initials, Mom's quote. Marisol brought cookies and a note. Thanks for making us feel safe again. That night I sat on the swing, warm breeze, thinking of Dad's words, you don't have to win loud, just win. Now every lock in the neighborhood's being replaced, every key reissued, and Meredith's name quietly erased from communications. It's not about one house anymore. It's about all of us, the legacy of standing up one porch swing, one neighbor at a time. Have you ever faced down an HOA bully or watched quiet resistance turn the tide? Drop your story in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's make sure these stories count because justice doesn't have to scream. Sometimes it just needs to be heard.